is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 at 9:25 Eastern Time at the time of recording this video. And it's our second video today. We're going to be going by a day-by-day outbreak of what's going to happen. Remember, we don't have all information. It's very early. Like, literally next week, this threat may start. We don't really know yet. So, like, yeah. So you kind of got to stick with us here. We can see, like, what's going to form and stuff and all that. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what we can do. We're going to be going by day, what's going to happen and stuff. So, yeah, let's get straight into the forecast. Also, guys, I just want to say, before we get into weather-wise, is I'm testing out a lot of new features for videos, so if things don't work, just know because I'm trying some new stuff, alright? Like map rotates and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to try to teach you guys and try to get you guys used to this. So let's get straight into it. So we're starting with today. You can see it's a general risk. I mean, we can see we already got storms up here, like 2 overlap severe thunderstorms. It doesn't look that bad, but I mean, if we look at a sideways view, we can see it's making its way up here. But as you can see, this is one of our new features to see like where the storm's traveling in like a 3D view. So that's a new feature you guys can look out for. And we can just go like that. And then we got storms down here, which we did say earlier. If you didn't watch other video, go watch it. But there is a threat now for Denver, Santa Fe. But this is like part of the Texas-Oklahoma threat. So yeah, so like it's the Texas Oklahoma threat. If we go like a 3D view, if I can zoom in a little bit, we can see like right over here. You can already see there's a big storm going down. If you guys, but like where we can see the storm's gonna rotate. If I turn this around, if I can, if I can get a 3D view. But like we can see the storm's gonna make its way over to the Texas plains and stuff, down over here, and it's gonna make its way up over there. We can see the threats already getting in there. We can see, we go a 3D view right there. You can see. Tell me guys what you like and what you don't like with this new stuff we're trying out. Just tell me so I know what to change, what to add. Tell me also what your recommendations are. I'm working on like a moisture sign on the side, only with these big storms. So yeah, stay tuned with me. But if we go to tomorrow, which is Wednesday, April 8th, we can see our storm threats get a little more big. Let's start our one over here by Los Angeles. Okay, yeah, let's see if I can kind of flip this over. Here, let me go back to normal. Let's see. So we can see right over here. I think this is a good view. Tell me, we'll go a normal view since I know we're trying out new stuff, so it's gonna be a little longer video. But like we can see here in Redding, Alger, Sunsonville, we can see there's a threat right here in California. We can see, I know it's backwards, but you can see California right there. But if we go a little more 3D, which this is probably a better view, we can see that's going to go straight down over there to Los Angeles. I know it looks a little weird with 3D, but we can see it's going to go straight down. It's going to make its way eventually to Phoenix. That's why we do have a threat over here about it. So that's why there's threats over there. But our storms get a little more badder. Let's go back to our normal view. Let's talk about our lower threat down here in southern Texas. So we can see 69C and all those highways. We can see there's a threat of tornadoes happening. Tornado watch under there. It's not there yet. We know we're not on our radar. If I do actually go on my radar, I don't really see any rotation yet. Let's see if I can do this. We can see there's storms coming up from Mexico over there. You guys can't see. We're going to get that off there. But you can see there's storms coming around and stuff. You can see it's dark. That's cool. But we can see there's a big threat over there. This is like a start. This is the start of a big storm, which we'll talk about. Now it's going on to our bigger threats up here. If I can get a good, like... Actually, let's talk about this one. This is, like, right on top of Canada. We're only going to talk about the USA part, but Canada's just no part of you and here in, like, Winnipeg. But we don't really cover Canada unless it's really a hurricane, which is not likely to happen out there in Canada. But over here, Grand Forks, there's River Falls. There's a little bit of a risk over there. Just watch out there. Alright, let's go to our biggest threat. Let's see if I can... Let's go to one of our biggest threats on the 3D view. So we can see there's a big threat of storms right here. All the way over here. All the way over here. So we can see straight down. It's going to make its way up there, over there to Santa Fe. Phoenix doesn't have a big risk until we get to like Tuesday, which is like next week. So that's why there's gonna be like a week of videos. It is so early to tell like what's gonna happen with Phoenix. So they're literally putting no risk because we don't even know if this storm's gonna really reach there. Like there's so much going on and stuff that's gonna happen. So like you guys gotta understand, we don't have every information yet. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So like yeah, we can see this goes in over here back in Texas, but that's like the tomorrow's risk. Here's a view of tomorrow's risk. One last one here in Florida, which we'll talk about flooding there in a little bit. We can see it's gonna reach down. There's just a little bit of a risk. Let's go to the top of the map. But yeah, that's a pretty good. I think we're liking the view, right? Liking the view? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. So now if we go back over here to California, here, this is a better view. If I can zoom out. So right here in California, Carson City, Sacramento. I'm already singing a song out of that. But this is like this thread does, you know, it's stretched out a little bit. Kind of ended over here. And decided to stretch out all the way to Medford and Eugene. Day 3. It's like for one of the first times this year, yeah, I'd say this is gonna be one of our biggest threats of the year. I'm not gonna lie, I know it's early in the year, but this is one of our only threats. Are gonna get a big storm here in Los Angeles that we can see that's gonna form in California. And just that's gonna put Phoenix on this. We don't really know yet. There's threats down over there by Phoenix that we gotta talk about, but that's our California one. Well, if we go back, if I can go back to my triangular view. But yeah, but if we go to our huge, here, let me actually put this forward. Well, if we go to this, I'm actually gonna view this. Maybe best to view it like that, like normal. Where we can see over here. This is a big general and marginal risk it's like a big connected big risk, and there's a big marginal risk in the middle of it, which that's the bullseye of it and the core of it. But if we look at like a 3D view of this, we can see like that. Over here, it's gonna make like these storms. These storms might overlap because we don't really know. It's too early in the week if a storm's gonna come over here from the west, or it's gonna come over here. But what our thing we do know is it's probably gonna overlap storms right here, which there's also a big cold front over here that's gonna reach hot over here, which is gonna cause a big tornado and all this green that we got there. We can see up there. I mean, this is a big risk. So, I mean, this is the start of our big storm. I mean, this is on Thursday. This is on Friday. Yeah, that's on Thursday, April 9th. So yeah, just watch out for that. we go to our Miami view, I think I'm going to put this backwards if that's fine with you guys. It's going to be easiest to look at. If you look over here, it is a backwards view. There's big flooding over here, which we'll talk about later, but this is our last like categorical risk. But we can see there's a moderate general risk threat over there. Like, the reason I'm not talking that much info about everything is because it's kind of too early in the week to tell. I'm just making videos so you guys know what's going to happen and stuff. There's also major flooding. I mean, look at that. We just got a huge flood. Flood's happening. That's all I have for categorical. But if we can go out to tornadoes, we can't really yet. Let's go to our thunderstorms now. Oh no, we can't really talk about that yet. But like, if you guys like this new view, just tell me. Before we get into some more forecasts, which is something like this. Let me tell you guys about the best radar app you guys should use. That is called WeatherWise. WeatherWise is the best possible app, best possible radar app you can do with no junk in your face. All it is, it's just weather-related stuff. No ads, nothing in your face. Just the radar and warnings and all that. Many features you can access. Like, you can do all this. There's a bunch of warnings on the side. You can view a severe thunderstorm from that. For my Plus and Pro users, you guys can toggle YAL mode. Once you get Plus, you guys can go to YAL mode, do all this custom map style and stuff. And you get the live intensity score and how it's going to be. You can see when Ryan's going to go live at what intensity score. It's great. So, yeah. Also, if you have Plus, you can go like a huge 3D view like that. That's pretty cool. That's why I've been using a little bit. But yeah, this is probably the best possible radar app you can use. If there's other ones, just tell me. But I recommend WeatherWise, the best one. But of course, that's an opinion. But it'll always be free. But there is some extra stuff, but it's fine if you don't have it. It's just it doesn't look that much different. Yeah. So yeah, that's why big shout out to WeatherWise. Make sure to sign up for WeatherWise for free today. You guys can search up weatherwise.app on your app stores on your phones and stuff. And then you can go on the browser weatherwise.app and pull that up. And you guys can make an account for free. Just gotta go to my account. It'll ask for your email and stuff. And yeah, you can cancel your subscription every time. Let's get straight back into the forecast. Alright, so here we go. Starting today, there's like no flooding and bad and excessive rainfall. But if we go to tomorrow, we can see. We're talking about Florida over here. So we're actually gonna get a good 3D view of this. I can't see it. Where the hell am I? Alright, but we can see down here. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm going to try to get a 3D view. Alright. We're going to start with a little bit of a 3D view, and then we're going to go normal view. But we can see is there's like a slight risk that's right inside of a marginal risk. This can cause some major plummet flooding in the middle. But something that's surrounding a slight risk can cause a big kaboom together, which is going to cause splashing, and it's going to spread all around Florida. So this is not always the great sign of rainfall and stuff and flooding that's going to happen. But if you're in Florida, watch out for some big flooding and watch for a kaboom at some point. Because, like, it's going to kaboom and then it's going to spread all around Florida and there's going to be a lot of water. So watch out for that. Report that to the National Weather Service if you see a kaboom of some sort to start. But yeah, that's our flooding. But if we go to our regular view, which I'll show you guys, we can see it's kaboomed. It's gonna kaboom. It's pretty exposed with that. If we go to day 3, it goes away because this actually changed. We said earlier that like northeast and all that, northwest, and that'll happen and kaboom and all that. But But yeah, Ben's gonna move up here, which are our threat over here, which where his drone's gonna start. This is on Thursday, April 7th, or sorry, April 9th. That's gonna happen. We can see a 3D view. It's gonna pretty plumb smack. So if we go to day 4, it shrinks down there, but and down day 5, it comes up here when our threats start. But let me give you guys a day by day what's gonna happen. Starting with day 1, nothing. Day 2, day 3, day 4. You guys can see how it moves. And yeah, so some big consistent rainfall over there. But we have some nice days coming up for the next couple days if I can find it. Talking like 4. I'm talking on day 4, which that is April 11th on a Saturday. It looks or Friday, which I'm not be accurate. It might be a Saturday or it might be a Thursday. I don't know. Can't, but we can see. Yeah, I'm not trying to get so 3D, but we can see this. Actually, let's just do this in a regular view. But we can see this is gonna be like a very nice day. We have a perfect day over here, but this is just like nice weather before we get storms for the next week or something. But the reason why none of this is over here is because of all the flooding and stuff, and it's gonna be all rainy that day. But it's gonna over here. It's gonna be better than what it is in California, which is kind of crazy at this time of year. But we have a perfect day over here in a big. This is like big. So I mean, yeah, enjoy that while it lasts. I mean, make sure changing your plans back outside, and then it goes down over here. I recommend staying outside and stuff for this. It's gonna be pretty fun. Day 6 it gets even better. Just Florida, non-stop good weather. So yeah, people in Florida enjoy that weather. Well, there's some bad weather. In Midwest Plains and all that. Let's talk about our wind and rainfall community just over here. I mean, we talked about that. And then it moves up here. Here's just a view of how it moves and stuff. That's just that. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Stay safe. There's a lot of stuff happening. Just be careful with this, and there'll be videos all week. Probably only one tomorrow. I don't really do two other videos in a day. There's really no sense. I just want to do it day by day. I'll probably do this again on Friday or Thursday. It makes sense too, so like you guys know day by day what happens. See you guys in the next one.